Hello students, good morning. Welcome to this today's class session. In the previous class, we solved different problems for bending stresses, and also in the previous class I gave one homework problem to you. I hope you tried it. The answer for the fourth example is 166.67 megapascal, which is bending stress at failure, that is maximum bending stress on the beam by the applied load of 2 kilometers. So today's class, I will discuss some more problems, different cross sections and different beams with the different loads. So today's first problem is example 5. Let us look the problem. A rectangular section beam 200 mm deep and 300 mm wide is simply supported over a span of 8 meters. What UDL the beam may carry if the bending stress is not to exceed 120 newtons per millimeter square is the given problem, in which the data is deep means is the depth of the beam, and wide means it's the breadth or width of the beam. Therefore, given cross section is a rectangular cross section having the breadth 300 mm and depth is 200 mm. So D is 200 mm, B is 300 mm. The cross section of the beam is rectangle and the beam is simply supported beam, which is supported at its ends over the span of 8 meters. So the total length of the beam is taken as 8 meters, L equal to 8 meters, which is 8000 m. In this problem, what UDL the beam may carry, that means how much load we will apply, how much load we can apply on the beam to reach the bending stress in the beam is 120 newtons per mm square. So maximum bending moment is 120 newtons per mm square. We should take the maximum bending stress. So the bending stress is 120 newtons per mm square. Sigma max is equal to 120. So how much load is required to produce this much of stress in the beam? So small w you have to find in this problem. Let us look the diagrams which are given below. The beam which is simply supported at A and B having the length capital L, and the beam is carrying the UDL of W per unit length. The beam cross section also shown in the figure having the breadth B, depth D, and Y maximum is in this case the extreme fiber distance from the neutral layer or neutral axis, which is Y maximum. In this case, a rectangular case, the Y maximum is taken as off of the depth. That is, Y max is equal to D by 2. So from the bending equation, as we know that the bending equation, sigma by Y equal to M by I, part of the bending equation it is. In the sigma is the stress and Y is the distance of fiber from the neutral layer, and M is the bending moment, maximum bending moment, and I is the moment of inertia for the given cross section. From the bending equation, we can write the M max is equal to sigma max by Y max into I. From the bending equation, we can write the M max value sigma max by Y max into I. So sigma max is the stress which is maximum stress induced in the beam. Y max is the extreme fiber distance from the neutral axis, or topmost fiber or bottommost fiber are the extreme fibers, and I is the moment of inertia about neutral axis. So what is the bending moment, the maximum bending? Generally, what is the maximum bending moment? Where is the maximum bending moment occurs in the simply supported beam with a UDL beams? The maximum bending moment occurs at the center of the beam. As already told in the last class, the maximum bending moment formulas for different types of beams and loads. So for simply supported beam with UDL, the maximum bending moment occurs in the beam at the center. So first of all, we have to find the maximum bending moment value and equate to the formula WL square by 8. The formula for maximum bending moment is WL square by 8. Then we can get the W value in this problem. So to find the W value, first of all, find the maximum bending moment. To find the maximum bending moment, we should know the maximum stress, Y max, and I value. I is the moment of inertia. The formula for moment of inertia for the neutral axis, is BDQ by 12. So B is the 300 mm is the breadth and depth is the 200 mm here. 200 mm cube by 12, we can get the moment of inertia value is 2 into 10 to the power of 8 mm square. Then in this equation, Y maximum is off of the depth, that is the depth value is 200 mm, off of the depth is 100 mm. That is extreme fiber distance from the neutral axis is Y max, which is 100 mm distance from the neutral axis. Either it is top fiber, or top layer, or bottom layer, which are equidistant from the neutral axis, that is 100 mm distance. And sigma max, the value of sigma max, the bending stresses, maximum bending stress is given in the problem itself, which is 120 newtons per mm. Therefore, M max upon all the parameters, substitution of all the parameters in the equation, sigma max value is 120 newtons per mm square, Y maximum is 100 mm, which is in the denominator, and I value is 2 into 10 to the power of 8 newtons per mm. Upon substitution of all the parameters, we get maximum bending moment value is 2.4 into 10 to the power of 8 newtons m. The bending moment units are Newton meter and Newton mm. Here we are substituting all the parameters in Newton or mm, Newton and mm. Therefore, we can get the bending moment units as Newton millimeter. So also we know that for simply supported beam with UDL, maximum bending moment equation is WL square by 8 at the center, which is developed at the center. So then we can equate the 2.4 into 10 to the power of 8 to the WL square by 8. So WL square by 8 is equal to 2.4 into 10 to the power of 8. So in this equation, W is an unknown parameter which we are going to calculate, or which we are going to find, and L is the length of the beam, full length of the beam, and length of the beam is given as, in the problem itself, length of the beam is, span of the beam is 8 meters and 8,000 m. So therefore, W is equal to 2.4 into 10 to the power of 8 into 8 divided by L square. L square is 8,000 square. 8 into 2.4 into 10 to the power of 8 by 8,000 square. Then we can get the W value, that is UDL, that we may carry the UDL value as 30 newtons per every millimeters of the beam. So this is the given, this is the problem in which we have calculated the UDL value that may carry the beam to produce 120 megapascals of maximum stress. Dear students, simply you use the bending equation, whatever the problem it is, use the bending equation and find the moment of inertia value, and to extract the Y maximum value, and then we can find the bending moment or bending stress in the beam. So example 6 is also I am giving it as a homework. It is a timber beam of rectangular section. It is also a rectangular section. Is to support a load of 5.5 kilonewtons per meter UDL. This is the UDL value over a span of 3.6 meters. Total length of the beam is 3.6 meters. When beam is simply supported, if the depth of the section is to be twice the breadth and stress is not to exceed 7 megapascals or 7 newtons per millimeter square, Then find the dimensions of the cross section. Dimensions of the cross section means breadth and depth individually. But the relation between the depth and breadth is given as depth of the section is to be twice the breadth. That means D equal to 2B. D equal to 2B. So in this problem, given data is a timber beam. The beam material is timber, that is wood. Wood beam of rectangular section is to be support of 5.5 kilonewtons per meter. That is the UDL value, small w value 5.5 kilonewtons per meter for a span of 3.6 meters. So L equal to capital L equal to 3.6 meters when beam is simply supported. So first of all, take the bending equation for this problem. After taking the bending equation, from the bending equation, you have to find the I value, that is moment of inertia. Because we don't know the moment of inertia value, because the problem has in the problem there is no data for the breadth and depth. So from the bending equation, substitute the sigma max, y max, and I formula BDQ by 12, and substitute the bending stress value, maximum bending stress value is 7 newtons per mm square. So in this problem, I will explain again. In this problem, Mmax, as we know that Mmax value is WL square by 8. For the simply supported beam with UDL, maximum bending moment at the center is small w L square by 8. This is the formula. W is given, that is the 5.5 kilonewtons per meter. L is also given 3.6 meters, converted into millimeters. This is also converted into millimeters. Then substitute in this formula, then we can get the maximum bending moment in Newton M. If you convert the meters into millimeters in the both cases, then we can get the Newton mm is the units for the maximum bending moment. So first of all, you find the maximum bending moment by the given data, and also the sigma max given the maximum bending stress in the beam. Maximum bending stress in the beam is 7 newtons per mm square. It is value 7 newtons per mm square. So therefore, from the bending equation, Mmax or sigma max is equal to sigma max. The formula from the bending equation is sigma max by y max and into I, moment of inertia. So substitute in this formula all the values, that is maximum bending moment value, sigma value. Substitute the y maximum. Y maximum in the rectangular case is d by 2. Substitute in the place of y maximum d by 2. And in place of I, BDQ by 12 is the formula for moment of inertia for rectangular section. Substitute the BDQ by 12. So 1 d is cancelled here, students, and 2 6 are. So BD square by 6, you can get the BD square by 6. So multiply that BD square by 6 sigma max. And also another condition is given in the problem is the depth is 2B. Depth of the beam is twice the breadth. So wherever the D is there, substitute the 2B value. So in this, finally we can get Mmax is equal to sigma max, that is the maximum bending stress, into BD square by 6. In place of B as it is. In place of D, BD square. In place of D, 2D. So 2B whole square by 6. BD square by 6. So total equation is only one unknown, that is the breadth. Find out the breadth. After getting the breadth value, D is equal to twice the breadth, so 2 into B changing, then we can get the depth value. Yes, students? So answers are 124 mm. After getting the B value, just twice multiplied by 2, then we can get the depth of the beam, 248 millimeters. These are the answers. Try the problem and compare your answers with given answers. Okay, students, let us go for the next problem. Here, the cross section of the beam is I section. It is very complicated. Derived cross section it is. Up to now, we solved for rectangular section and hollow circular section. These are the problems we solved up to now, the basic cross sections. Now, in this problem, example 7, the cross section of the beam is I section. I section means it's having the one web. This is called the web. The vertical portion is called the web, and the horizontal portions are called the flanges. Two flanges and one web. Two flanges having the same length and same thickness. Web having the thickness of 10 mm and height is 400 minus 2380 mm is the height of the web. Thickness of the 10 flanges are 10, 10, 20. So 400 minus 20, then we can get the height of the web, 380. This is the I section given. Already you studied and derived the equation for moment of inertia, and also by locating the centroidal axis for the I section in the engineering mechanics in the first year of BTech. So just reproduce your knowledge in this problem. Reproduce means how to get it, the moment of inertia, how to get the moment of inertia for I section. So first of all, let us study or let us read the problem. Example 7. Figure shows the cross section of a cantilever beam. This is the cross section of the cantilever beam. Cantilever beam is here. Cantilever means the beam which is fixed at one end and free at another end. Beam of 2 meter span. Span means the length of the beam is 2 meters. Material used in steel. The material of the beam is steel, for which the maximum permissible stress is 150 newtons per mm square. Maximum permissible means up to that we can permit the stress in the beam I section. That means that is the maximum stress which can allow in the beam, that is 150 newtons per mm square. Therefore, we can take it as maximum stress in the beam 150 newtons per mm square. Beyond that 150, it cannot withstand the load. Therefore, maximum stress in the beam is 150 newtons per mm square. What is the maximum uniformly distributed load this beam may carry? So here also we are going to find the UDL value, that is uniformly distributed load value per millimeter, W per millimeter. Clear, students? So in every problem, we should know first of all what is the beam given in the problem, what type of beam is in the problem, and what type of load which are applying on the beam, and what type of cross section of the beam is given in the problem. Here, the type of beam is cantilever, type of load is uniformly distributed load, and type of section is I section. Clear, students? So I section dimensions also given. The length of the flanges are 180 mm and thickness of the flanges are 10 mm. The height of the web is 380 mm and the thickness of the web is 10 mm. Clear, students? So write down the given data first of all by reading the problem. So given data is the length of the beam is 2 meters, capital L is 2 meters, 2000 mm converted into mm, and the maximum stress, that is sigma max value, is 150 newtons per mm square. In this problem, you are going to find the UDL value, that is UDL load. What is the uniformly distributed load which are applied to produce 150 newtons per mm square maximum stress in the cantilever beam of I section. So given I section is the symmetric, therefore neutral axis, first of all, whatever the section is given, which is symmetric or not symmetric. Up to now, we solved the problem for the rectangular sections, which is symmetric about neutral axis, and also the hollow circular section is also symmetric about neutral axis. So in the given problem, what is the section given? Either it is a symmetric section or non-symmetric section. So I section is also a symmetric section about neutral axis. So it is the mid-depth, neutral axis must be at the center. So it is passing through a center of gravity. So first of all, locate the center of gravity for the given I section. So from the bending equation, sigma by y equal to m by I, m max is equal to sigma max by y max into I. This is the from the bending equation itself. So in this case, y maximum. Y maximum means the neutral axis for this I section is must be at the center like this, central axis. This is the neutral axis. About neutral axis, this I section is symmetric. That means the length from the outermost fiber from the neutral axis is equal to the upper top layer is equal to bottom layer, which is at a distance of from the neutral axis. So equidistance or fibers are equidistant from the neutral axis. Therefore, it is a symmetric diagram. So about neutral axis, we have to find the moment of inertia. We should know the moment of inertia. Then sigma max, which is given in the problem 150 newtons per mm square. What is the y maximum? Y maximum value means the extreme layers, extreme fibers from the neutral axis. That is outermost layer from the neutral axis. This is the y maximum value. Otherwise, this is the y maximum value, which are equidistant from the top and bottom values. So the topmost layer is subjected to tensile stress and bottommost layer is compressive, maximum compressive load, because the cantilever beam bends like this after applying the load. The upper layer is subjected to tensile and bottom layer is subjected to compression. In this case, compression and the tensile stresses are equal because both are equal distance from the neutral axis. So in this case, y maximum, what is the y maximum value? From center to outermost layer is 200. From center to outermost layer is 200 because 400 is the total height. Center to outermost layer is 200. So y maximum value is 200 in this case. Y maximum is 200 mm. And I value, moment of inertia of the I section about neutral axis. How to calculate the moment of inertia of I section? In the two ways we can calculate the moment of inertia for I section. By assuming the total area like this rectangle, by finding the moment of inertia of this total rectangle and subtracting these areas, moment of inertia of these areas, then we can get the I section moment of inertia. Okay. So neutral axis is at the center. About neutral axis, the total rectangle moment of inertia is BdQ by 12. In this B is 180. That is the breadth of the total rectangle. Overall rectangle is 180, and D is the 400 mm. So BdQ by 12 means 180 into 400 Q by 12 is the total rectangular moment of inertia. From this total rectangular moment of inertia, if you subtract the moment of inertia of these two areas, let us take this is the first area and second area. If you subtract the moment of inertia about neutral axis of these two sections from the total rectangle, then we can get the moment of inertia for the I section. So moment of inertia of first area. What is the moment of inertia of first area? This is the rectangular again. This is a rectangular section having the breadth from this place to this place and the height is this place to this place. So what is the rectangular breadth? This is the rectangular breadth. Rectangular breadth is total 180 mm. Out of 180 mm, this is the thickness of the web is 10 mm. Therefore 170 mm on both sides. 170 divided by 2. It is the 2 times, that is both sides are equal. 170 by 2 it is 85. So 85 is the breadth and the total height of this first area is total 400 minus 10 and minus 10 is the thickness of the flanges 380. So 85 is the breadth into 380 cube by 12. So this is the moment of inertia of one rectangle first area, and moment of inertia of second area is also same, therefore into 2. So total moment of inertia which is subtracted from the overall is 2 into 85 into 380 cube by 12. Yes, students, like that you have to reproduce your knowledge to calculate the moment of inertia in this case. So 180 into 400 cube by 12 minus 1 by 12, 85 is 170, 85 into 2. So 170 into 380 cube by 12. Then we can get the moment of inertia. Moment of inertia of total I section about neutral axis is 182.6467 into 10 to the power of 6 mm power 4. This is the crucial calculation to find the bending stresses. So whatever the section you are given in the problem, you have to find out the moment of inertia first. So then only we can proceed or we can calculate the bending stresses. Whatever the section it is rectangular or circular or hollow rectangular, hollow circular, whatever the basic sections, and also derived sections, I section, T section. So whatever the section the problem is given, you should be able to find the moment of inertia for different sections. So after getting the I value and Y maximum value, then we can find the maximum bending moment from the given bending equation. So from the bending equation, M max is equal to sigma max by Y max into I. So M max is equal to sigma max is 150 newtons per mm square. Y maximum value is 200 mm and I value is 182.6467 into 10 to the power of 6 mm power 4. So upon substitution of all the parameters, 3 parameters in the given equation, bending equation, then we can get the maximum bending moment value in the beam is 136.985 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton mm in terms of Newton mm. So this is the maximum bending moment. Generally, where the maximum bending moment occurs in the cantilever beam, the maximum bending moment occurs at the fixed end. At this point, the maximum bending moment occurs. So what is the bending moment at fixed end? Maximum bending moment value already written in the different formulas. Maximum bending moment is M max is equal to, what is the formula for M max for cantilever with UDL? It is W is the load which is distributed over the length of L. So the WL is the total load which is acting at a distance of L by 2. So into L by 2, then we can get the WL square by 2. This is the WL square by 2 is the maximum bending moment at fixed end. So WL square by 2. Maximum bending moment at fixed end. So upon getting, after getting the value of maximum bending moment from the bending equation, we can equate the WL square by 2 to the 136.985 to 10 to the power of 6. Then we can get the W value. So how to get the W value? W is equal to 136.985 to 10 to the power of 6 into 2 divided by L square. What is the L value? It is 2 meters or 2000 mm square. So answer is the load which is applying on the cantilever beam is 68.49 newtons per every millimeter length. There is a UDL value which is applying on the cantilever beam to produce 150 megapascals as maximum bending moment. So maximum bending stress. Yes, students, so whatever the problem, whatever the section, you should know the moment of inertia value and Y maximum value and maximum bending moment equation for the given beam and load and bending equation. Sigma by Y equal to M by I equal to E by R is the bending equation. These 3 or 4 formulas, upon knowing these 3 or 4 formulas, you can easily calculate the bending stresses in any type of beam. So in this formula, in this problem, 68.49 newtons per mm is the UDL value which is applying on the cantilever beam. Understand, students? Let us go for the next problem. It is also I section beam. I section beam having the dimensions 200 mm flange breadth and thickness of the flanges are 20 mm is given. 200 is the breadth and 20 mm is the thickness of each flange, and this is called the web, W-E-B, web. W-E-B is the web. These are the flanges. I section having the 2 flanges and 1 web. In this case, the 2 flanges are equally length and equal thickness. Equal length means there is a 200 mm is the length of the flange and breadth of the flange, and thickness of the flange is 20 mm. And total height is 400 mm, I section height. The web height is 360 mm. Therefore, 400 minus 20, flanges thickness, subtract just then we can get the height of the flange is 360 mm. And thickness of the flange is 10 mm itself, 10 mm only, not equal to the flange thickness. So this is the neutral axis which is centered exactly at the center because it is a symmetric. Why it is called symmetric means flanges dimensions are equal on both sides. Then only then it is said to be a symmetric diagram about neutral axis. So let us go for the problem. Let us read the problem first of all. I rolled steel. The material of the I section beam is steel material, which is rolled steel or rolling steel. Simply supported beam. The beam type of beam is simply supported. First of all, you have to extract the data from the problem to know these three points. What is the type of beam first of all? What is the type of beam in the problem? Then only we can maximum bending moment value. We can write the maximum bending moment. It is the first type of beam you have to identify. Then what is the type of section? Section means cross-sectional area ఏంటి? Either it is a rectangular, circular, I section or T section, whatever the section given in the problem. So you have to identify these 2 points. Along with these 2 points, what is the type of load which is applying on the beam? What is the type of load which is applying on the beam? You have to identify these 3 points in the problem, then we can proceed the problem to calculate whatever the parameter which is asked in the problem. So in this problem, type of beam is simply supported beam, type of section is I section, and type of load is UDL, uniformly distributed load. The load value is 40 kilonewtons over the span of 10 meters. Length of the beam is 10 meters length. Determine the maximum stress in the section. Maximum stress, that is the sigma max, you have to find in the section. Where the maximum stress occurs generally in the section? Maximum stress occurs at the outermost fibers, outermost layers from the neutral axis, outermost top layer or bottom layer. If these 2 layers are equal distance from the neutral axis, then equal stresses will be developed in the outermost layer. If it is cantilever, the topmost layer induced tensile stress and the bottommost layers subjected to compressive stresses. If it is symmetric about neutral axis, tensile stresses in the upper layer, compressive stresses in the bottom layers are equal. If it is unsymmetric section, the stresses are unequal on the outermost layers. The layer which is far away from the neutral axis, in that layer the maximum stresses will be developed. The layer which is very nearer to the neutral axis, in which the stresses are minimum. Okay. If it is simply supported beam, the given beam is simply supported beam. That means the beam is supported or resting on 2 supports at its end point. By applying the load on that, whatever the load is given in the problem, it is a load. After applying the load, the beam bends like this. If the beam bends like this, this is the neutral layer. If the beam bends like this, the upper layers are subjected to compressive, bottom layers are subjected to tensile. The bottom layers are trying to expand and the upper layers are trying to contract. So in this case, if it is symmetric beam about neutral layer or neutral axis, these compressive stresses are equal to these tensile stresses. Maximum tensile and maximum compressive are equal. If it is not symmetric about neutral axis, then this compressive stress and tensile stresses are not equal. Yes, students? If it is not symmetric about neutral axis, the tensile and compressive stresses are not equal. For example, the flanges are not equal in this case. If the flange of the bottom flange is less than, length of the bottom flange is less than the upper flange. If the portion of these portions are not there, the bottom flange length is less than the upper flange. Therefore, neutral axis is not at the middle depth or not at the midpoint. The neutral axis which is nearer to the high length, that is the maximum length flange, because the weight of the total section is moved to the maximum length flange. Therefore, the neutral axis is not at the mid depth, which is near to the maximum length flange. So in this case, the upper layer, that is the topmost layer, which is nearer to the neutral axis, and the bottom layer, which is far away from the neutral axis. So length of the bottom layer is more than the length of the top layer from the neutral axis. Therefore, in this case, the maximum stresses will be developed at the bottom layer, because which is very more distance than the top layer, high distance than the top layer. Therefore, maximum stresses are induced in the bottom layer and somewhat less stresses are induced in the top layer. These are not equal in this case. Yes, students? So coming to our problem, equal flanges, equal thickness flanges, equal lengths, it is symmetric about neutral axis, therefore equal stresses will be developed at the top and bottom layers. So in this problem, the type of UDL value is 40 kilonewton per meter. It is 4000 newtons per meter and span is 10 meters. Length of the beam is 10 meters. So moment of inertia about neutral axis for the given section. For the given I section, neutral axis, moment of inertia of neutral axis, if we take this, assume this total I section as rectangle. If we assume this rectangle, the rectangle moment of inertia about neutral axis is total breadth is 200 mm, total depth is 400 mm, therefore 200 into 400 cube by 12. This is the moment of inertia about neutral axis of whole rectangle. From this whole rectangle, we should subtract the moment of inertia of these two areas. If we subtract these two areas, then only we can get the I section moment of inertia. Okay? So, what is the breadth of these areas and height of these areas? The breadth of this area is total 200 mm breadth. From that breadth, we should subtract this 10 mm thickness of the web. Then we can get the 180 mm. 180 mm. On both sides, 180 by 2, it is a 90 mm and it is also 90 mm. So breadth is 90 mm and height is 360 mm is given in the section itself. So 90 into 360 cube by 12. 90 into 360 by 360 cube by 12. What is this 90 into 360 cube by 12? This is the moment of inertia of one area about neutral axis. So for both areas having equal areas, these are the equal areas, therefore into 2. So therefore moment of inertia of both areas is 2 into 90 into 360 cube by 12. So 180 into 360 cube by 12. Otherwise total 200 minus 20, 200 minus 20, that is the 180 into 360 cube by 12. Whatever it is, then we can get the moment of inertia of given I section about neutral axis. About neutral axis. So upon substitution of all the values, then we can get the moment of inertia of given cross section is a bigger value 327946666 millimeter power 4. This is the moment of inertia of given I section about neutral axis. Then maximum bending moment is given by. How to get maximum bending moment equation? It is different formulas for different types of beams and loads. So given type of beam is simply supported beam and given load is UDL. So for given UDL load, simply supported beam, the maximum bending moment at center is WL square by 8. So maximum bending moment value is WL square by 8 upon substitution of W value is given as 400 kilonewton per meter or 40,000, sorry, 40 kilonewton per meter, 40,000 Newton per meter. So after substitution, 40,000 into L square, this is the 10, length of the beam is 10 meters, L square 10 square by 8, then we can get the value of it is almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 into 10 to the power of 5 newtons meter. Upon ikkada manam em substitute chestunante W value is newtons lo undi per meter lo undi, L value meter lo undi. Then we can get the Newton meter is the units for maximum bending moment. But the I value is millimeter per 4. You should convert the meters into millimeters. So 5 into 10 to the power of 5 into by converting meters into millimeter, they are multiplying by 1000. If you multiply it by 1000, then it converts in meters into millimeters. So 1 meter equal 1000 mm. So by multiplying it, it will becomes 5 into 10 to the power of 8. Is 5 into 10 to the power of 5 into 10 to the power 10 cube. So 5 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton mm. Newton mm. That is the maximum bending moment value. Got it, students? Are you understanding? Let us go for next slide to calculate the maximum stress, bending stress. So as we know that from the bending equation, M by I equal to sigma by Y. From this bending equation, we can rearrange the bending equation after rearranging sigma equal to M by I into Y. In this, sigma is the stress, M is the bending moment, I is the moment of inertia, Y is the distance of a layer from the neutral axis. If we want to find the maximum stress in the beam, sigma max, then we should substitute the maximum bending moment of the beam and the maximum distance of layer from the neutral axis. So yeah, sigma max is equal to M max by I into Y max. So in some books, M max can be written as M itself. So M means the maximum bending moment, which already we calculated in the earlier slide, 5 into 10 to the power of 8, divided by moment of inertia value is 327946666. Already calculated in this slide, 327946666. Into Y maximum value. What is the Y maximum value in this case? The Y maximum means the outermost layers from the neutral axis. Distance of outermost layers from the neutral axis. So total height is 400. From mid depth to outermost layer is 200. In this case also, as in previous problem, Y max is 200 mm. So Y maximum value is 200. So upon substitution of all the parameters which are calculated in the earlier slide, we can get the maximum stress. Maximum stress in the beam is 304.92 newtons per mm square or 304.92 megapascals. Clear, students? So this is the maximum stress which are induced in the simply supported beam in I section of I section beam carrying UDL of 40 kilonewtons per meter. So like this, you have to solve, you can able to solve all the problems, whatever the section given in the problem. Up to now, we solved the symmetric sections about neutral axis. Let us take the unsymmetric section in the next problem. Unsymmetric section means having different flanges lengths of I section. This is the I section given in the problem, having different lengths of the flanges, different flange lengths. That is 200 mm is the topmost flange length and 130 mm length of the bottom flange. So let us read the problem first of all. Example 9, a cast iron cantilever beam. A cast iron cantilever beam, the type of given beam is cantilever beam, subjected to bending has the cross section of the beam is I section with unequal flanges as shown in figure. If the maximum bending moment in the beam section is 40 kilonewton meter, the maximum bending moment value is given in this problem. Find the maximum bending stress and its nature. Maximum bending stress and its nature. Nature means either it's positive or negative, or compression or tensile. Okay? When it is called the tensile, the given beam is cantilever beam. If the cantilever beam is given like this, if the cantilever beam is like this, by applying the load on this, if you apply the load on this cantilever beam, the beam bends like this, isn't it? Beam bends like this. Whenever the beam bends like this, the outermost layer, that is the upper layer, subjected to tensile because it is trying to expand, and bottom layers are subjected to compression because it is trying to contract. If the simply supported beam, if the beam is simply supported beam, then it bends like this. If the beam bends like this, the upper layers are subjected to compression, bottom layers are subjected to tensile because the bottom layers are trying to expand, upper layers are trying to contract. In these two cases, cantilever beam, in the cantilever beam upper layers are tensile, simply supported beam upper layers are compression. Clear, students? So in this case, in the problem, the maximum bending moment in the beam is 40 kilonewton meter. Find the maximum bending stress and its nature. Where the maximum bending stresses occurs and what is its nature. Either it is compression or tensile. So given beam is cantilever beam is upper layers is tensile, bottom layers are compression. Okay, students? So by locating the central axis for this I section, approximately it is nearer to the 200 mm flange because the weight of the section is high towards the 200 mm flange. So weight of the section is small towards the 130 mm flange. So neutral axis, the topmost layer distance from the neutral axis is some distance, and bottommost layer which is more than the topmost layer, this is the distance of bottommost layer from the neutral axis. In these two cases, which one is the maximum? The maximum distance is bottommost layer from the neutral axis. The layers which is far away from the neutral axis are subjected to a maximum stress. That means the stresses which is subjected to on the upper layer is less than the stresses on the bottom layer. So maximum stresses will be developed at the bottom layer because it is very high distance, that is a more distance than the top layer. So maximum stresses are induced in the bottom layers. So bottom layers are subjected to what type of stresses? Bottom layers are subjected to compression stresses in the cantilever beam. So in this case, the maximum stress, magnitude of maximum bending stress and its nature asked. The nature is, from this diagram, we can say that the nature is compression. Maximum bending stress nature is compression. The magnitude, you have to find the magnitude of the maximum bending stress upon substitution of all the parameters in the bending equation. Clear, students? So given data is maximum bending stress is 40 kilonewton meter. 40 kilonewton meter is the maximum bending stress. In the problem itself it is given, and maximum stress we have to find in this problem. So 40 kilonewton meter, after conversion into the Newton meter millimeter, 40 into kilo means 10 cube. If you convert the millimeters into millimeters, again another 10 cube is there. So 10 cube into 10 cube is 10 to the power of 6. 40 into 10 to the power of 6 newtons mm after conversion, the maximum bending moment value. Clear, students? So here major aim of this section is to locate the center of gravity. In the symmetric section, we can say that center of gravity is always, centroid is always at the center of the section. But we cannot say that center of gravity at the center in this case. So center of gravity must be nearer to the 200 mm flange. So this is the center of gravity at this point center. The axis which is passing the center of gravity is called the neutral axis or central axis. So first of all, locate the center of gravity. How to locate the center of gravity from the bottom axis or bottom layer? Let us take this distance as y bar. Okay, let us take this distance as y bar. How to find the y bar from the bottom layer? You have to use this equation. Y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3. What is the a1 y1? A1 means, let us take the three areas here. One upper flange is there, bottom flange is there, and web portion is there. The three areas, this I section is consist of three areas, and the y1, y2, y3 are the distances of their own center of gravity from the neutral axis. For example, let us take this is the area 1. If this area is 1, what is the center of gravity of this area? It is exactly center. Center means from this place, it is total thickness is 50. From this place to this place is 25. This is the center of gravity distance. This is the center of gravity. From the top layer, it is 25 mm. If we take this layer, as a A2, area 2, if the web is taken as area 2, the web portion having the center of gravity at the center of the web. The web portion having the length is 200 mm. Exactly, it is the center. That means at this point is 100 mm. So this is the center of gravity of the web portion. Similarly, the center of gravity of the bottom bottom flange is taken as y3. Y3 means the distance of this center of gravity of third area from the bottom layer. This is the y3. Y2 means y2 means the distance of neutral axis from the bottom layer. Y1 means the distance of upper flange center of gravity from the bottom layer. This is the Y1. So like that, you have to take the Y1, Y2, Y3. Y1 means the center of gravity of the A1 area from the bottom axis or bottom layer. Y2 is the center of gravity of the web portion from the bottom layer. Y3 means the center of gravity of the small flange from the bottom layer. A1, A2, A3 are their areas. Dear students, like this, already you studied about the location of center of gravity for different shape of sections. So A1, where the A1 is area of the bottom flange. Here in this problem, this bottom flange is taken as A1, upper flange is taken as A3, and web portion is A2. So area of the bottom flange is, what is the area of the bottom flange? Is the length is 130 mm, thickness is 150 mm, 130 into 50, 6500 mm square. So Y1 means the distance of CG of A1 from the bottom face. Distance of CG of A1 from the bottom face is total thickness is 50. Therefore, center of gravity of the bottom flange from the bottom face is 25. So it is taken as 25. 50 by 220. Like that, you have to extract all the data from the diagrams. A2 is the area of the web. Area of the web is, what is the area of the web? It is the height of the web is 200 mm, thickness of the web is 50 mm, 200 into 50 is 10,000 mm square. Y2 is the distance of CG of A2 from the bottom face. Distance of CG of A2 from the bottom face means distance of CG of A2 is the web portion CG is center. That means from this place to this place is 100 mm. So remaining distance is 50. Total distance of center of gravity of second area from bottom face is 150. So Y2 is 150. 50 plus 200 by 2 is 150 mm. So A3 is the area of the top flange, which is 200 mm breadth and 50 mm thickness. 200 into 50 is 10,000 mm square. So Y3 is the distance of CG of A3 from the bottom face. So 50 plus 200 plus 50 by 2. How to get the Y3? Y3 means the distance of A3 area. This is the topmost flange from the bottom face distance. This is the Y3. So in this Y3, this is the 50 mm thickness is there, and this is 200 mm. 50 plus 200 mm plus this distance is 50. So, sorry, 50 by 2. It is 50 by 2, 25. So 200 plus 50 plus 25, 225. 50 plus 200 plus 50 by 2, 275. 275 mm length. Sorry, length, that is the distance of Y. Upon substitution of A1 Y1, A2 Y2, A3 Y2 into given equation, then we can get the Y bar value from the bottom face. Upon calculation of Y bar, location of Y bar, which is 166.51 mm from the bottom face, moment of inertia of the section about neutral axis. After locating the center of gravity, then we can find easily the moment of inertia of three areas, I1, I2, I3. So total moment of inertia is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Where I1 is moment of inertia of bottom flange about neutral axis, moment of inertia of bottom flange about an axis passing through its CG, plus A1 into distance of its CG from neutral axis square. It is the parallax theorem. As we know that parallax theorem, what is the parallax theorem? If we know the moment of inertia about its CG, then moment of inertia of that area about another axis, if it is centroidal axis, if we know the moment of inertia of central axis, then we can shift this moment of inertia into another axis by using parallax theorem. So according to the parallax theorem, moment of inertia of CG, that is IG or ICG, plus area of that section into distance between these two whole square, y square. Let us take the y square. This is the parallax theorem to find the moment of inertia about some other axis other than the central axis. Here I written that moment of inertia of bottom flange about its own CG plus A1, that is the A1 is the area of the bottom flange, into distance of its CG from neutral axis. Distance of its CG from neutral. This is the neutral axis. So neutral, it is a CG of this particular area. Okay, otherwise it is neutral axis. It is the center of gravity of that particular area. Then distance between these two whole square. So moment of inertia of the flange is 130 into 50 square, 50 cube by 12. As we know that BD cube by 12 for particular area. The breadth of the smaller flange is 130. Thickness or depth of the smaller flange is 50. 130 into 50 cube by 12. This is the moment of inertia about its own CG. Plus A1. A1 is the 6,500. Here already written in the area. 6,500 is the area into distance of its CG from neutral axis. That means distance of CG from its neutral axis means for example, the bottom flange having the CG central axis at this place. That means from the bottom face, this 25 mm distance. But we know that the central axis somewhere else here. So what is the distance between these two? How to get the distance between these two? Already we look at the center of gravity by using this formula. It is 166.67. So from this 166.67 from the bottom face, if you subtract from 166.67, 25 mm subtract, then we can get the distance between two axes. The students. So here, 6,500 is the area, 166.51 minus 25 whole square. So total moment of inertia of bottom flange about neutral axis is 131517186.6 mm/4. So reproduce your knowledge from the engineering mechanics to find the moment of inertia of unsymmetric diagrams like this. So after getting the I1, similarly we can calculate I2, I3. I2, that is the moment of inertia of web portion about neutral axis. Similar formulas, area of the moment of inertia of web portion about its own CG plus area of the web into distance of the area 2 CG from the neutral axis whole square. So 50 into 200 cube by 12 plus A2 is the area of the web into 166.51 minus Y2. Y2 means the distance between 2 points. So area of the web is 10,000 into 166.51 minus 150. Y2 means that is distance of CG of second area from the bottom face is 150. 166.51 minus 150, then we can get the distance of distance between two CGs. That is the center of gravity of area 2 and neutral axis. So I2 value is 33605913.43 mm/4. Similarly, we can calculate the I3 value, moment of inertia of the top flange about neutral axis. Top flange having the breadth 200 mm and the thickness is 50 mm. Therefore, moment of inertia is 200 into 50 cube by 12 about its own CG plus area of the third area A3 into Y3 minus 166.51 whole square. So A3 is 10,000 again into Y3 value 275. Y3 means already we written here, Y3 value is 275. So Y3 minus 166.51 whole square. Because 166.51 kante Y3 ఎక్కువగా ఉంది, Y3 value is 275. Therefore Y3 minus 166.51 whole square. So upon substitution of all the parameters, we can get the I3 value is 11978434.3 mm/4. So after getting the moment of inertia of every section, every area about neutral axis, then we can summing up all three areas, we can get the moment of inertia of whole section about neutral axis. So the value is 284907234.9 mm/4. This is the moment of inertia of whole section about neutral axis. So distance of CG from top layer, that is for Y maximum, after getting the moment of inertia, which layer is the maximum distance from the neutral axis? So neutral axis, where the neutral axis is located, there, which is what distance it is? This is the 166.51 distance, Y bar value. This is here calculated by using this formula. Distance of neutral axis, this is the neutral axis from the bottom layer, is 166.51. So distance of topmost fiber is total 250 plus 50, 300 minus 166.51, then we can get the distance from topmost layer from the neutral axis. Which one is the maximum? Bottom layer is the maximum distance from the neutral axis. Therefore, maximum stresses will be developed at the bottom layer. Yes, students? So here, distance of CG from top layer is 300 minus 166.51, 133.49 itself. Distance of CG from the bottom layer is 166.51 mm. So bottom layer is far away from the neutral axis. Therefore, maximum stresses induced in the bottom layers. Therefore, we can take the Y maximum as 166. Upon these two, which one is the maximum? 166.51. So we can take Y maximum as 166.51. In some books, it is taken as YT maximum. YT maximum or YC maximum. If it is cantilever beam, bottom layer is compression. Therefore, YC maximum is the bottom layer. Topmost layer is YT maximum, tensile layering. So maximum stress will be developed in the bottom layer of the section, and it is compression in nature. Because compression, how it identified is compression, it is a cantilever beam, bottom layer is compression, topmost layer is tensor. So from the bending equation, sigma by y equal to m by I, sigma max is equal to m max by I into y max. Here maximum bending stress at the bottommost layer is equal to maximum bending moment in the problem is given. What is the maximum bending moment value? It is 40 into 10 power 6 Newton mm. Here I substitute 40 into 10 to the power of 6. 40 into 10 to the power of 6. And I value is the whole section moment of inertia already calculated by summing up all three areas. 284907234.9 mm power 4. And y maximum value is here 166.51 mm. So upon substitution of all the parameters into the bending equation, then we can get the maximum bending stress which are developed at the bottom layers. The value is 23.377 newtons per mm square or megapascals. This is the maximum bending stress, which is compression stress at the bottom layers, which is compression in nature. Okay, students, like this, the major portion of the problem is to find the moment of inertia. So if you get the moment of inertia, then we can easily solve the problem. So moment of inertia, already you studied in the engineering mechanics how to get the moment of inertia about central axis of whole section. Either it is symmetric or non-symmetric sections. For both, you studied already in the engineering mechanics to get the moment of inertia. Again, you have to look over your notes, engineering mechanics notes, how to get the moment of inertia for the symmetric and non-symmetric sections. Use that knowledge in this MOS mechanics of solids to get the maximum bending stresses. Okay, students, this is the bending stress distribution diagram across the section. After calculating the bending stresses, you have to draw this diagram. This is the given I section. This is the given I section. I section having the top flange is 200 mm and the bottom flange is 130 mm. 200 mm is the web length and 50 mm thickness of the web. Already we calculated that from the bottom face, the neutral axis at a distance of 166.51 mm and the remaining distance from the topmost plunger is 133.49. So by looking these two values, the maximum stress will be developed at the bottom layer because it is higher distance from the neutral axis when compared to the top layer. So after drawing this I diagram, I section, draw the axis, neutral axis and extend it. Draw the vertical line on at the adjacent to the I section. Adjacent to the I section, draw the vertical line and draw the horizontal extension from the top layers and bottom layers. And locate the bending stress values. If it is compression on the left side of the vertical line, if it is tensile, right side of the compression. The given beam is cantilever beam. So bottom layer subjected to compression. Draw the horizontal line on the left side of the vertical line. This vertical line on left side of the vertical line up to some distance. Locate that point as compression stresses sigma C, that is 23.377 we calculated as compression, maximum compression stress. After locating this point, join this point with the neutral point, that is the vertical intersection of vertical line and neutral axis point, and extend it this line up to top layer. Up to top layer, we can get the intersection of the line which is projected from the top layer and this line at certain point. Then this distance will represent the tensile stress on the top layer, which is very smaller than the distance of the bottom layer. So which is indicates the sigma T is the tensile stress. Tensile stress. So like this, you have to draw the bending stresses distribution diagram across the section. Yes, students. The next class. The next class, example 10, we will discuss T section. The given section is T types of section. T means which having only one flange and one web. And remaining problems, after getting the T section, you have to draw the bending stress diagram like this. After last problem in this chapter is example 11, how to get the maximum strength beam from the circular section. Next class, we will discuss these two problems.